and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block rover. This one is called the Light Attack Vehicle Attack Rover, which is this lovely thing over here. Now the turrets are going to be a little bit wonky because for some odd reason drones are spawning in this world, despite the setting being turned off, so expect them to start shooting every now and again. But yes, the rover itself has a self-repair system, a tiny interior for you to drive this thing around, a survival kit to respawn on, and it's got a nice lot of defense all the way around it. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the LAV Attack Rover is 206 large blocks using no DLC packs and no mods. We also got a nice lot of information about it on the Steam Workshop page, such as its specifications and of course all of its controls. So give this thing a thumbs up, move all around towards the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, a quick look at the interior, then we're going to drive it around for a bit and send it over to a pirate headquarters to see how it handles it. So at the very front, this is what we get. Front and center, we've got ourselves a camera, which is going to be the only way to see outside from the interior. It's going to be very important you keep this camera facing away from your enemies, because if this blows up, you're going to have to rely on your third-person camera. Anyway, surrounding all of that, we've got some lovely grey steel blocks, and right below here, we've got ourselves a couple of tyres, and a blaster edge block to act as a little bump guard in case you do slam into a small rock. If you were to move it up and start to move around the side, this is what we get on our wheels. So we've got a welder attached onto our suspension to make sure they're in tip-top shape while in combat. We can also see some assault turrets which also have a similar setup to our wheel suspensions, but they've got a welder right next to it. We can also see a couple of piston heads, some more blaster edge blocks, a couple of lights, and right below there you can just see the side of our doorway to get in and out. Moving along the side and towards the back can be roughly the same as the front with our welder and suspension setup. There's some more wheels to act as a bump guard while reversing, as well as a magnetic plate, a connector and a reverse camera to help dock this thing up, refuel it with whatever it needs, and of course to secure it in place. Over on this side, instead of having a wheel, we've got ourselves an ore detector, so we can use this as a scout rover, go around and search for ore patches, report it back to base, and hopefully go back in one piece. Moving all the way up and looking down, that is what our camera has been attached onto. There's a small interior turret, there's a parachute hatch just in case you get into a bit of trouble going over a cliff edge. And just looking down towards the front, that is all we get. And there is the very front. Anyway, dropping down and coming underneath it, past all the grass, you should be able to make out a button panel. This button panel is going to be to open and close the door, as well as turn the handbrakes on and off, and the turrets are once again shooting at another little drone. So there's the drone right there, there goes our assault turrets, and I'm sure they'll handle it. Right next to this button panel is our doorway to get in and out, and we just come all the way up into a ladder shaft, and then into the ship. Going towards the back of the rover, we've got ourselves a beacon so we can always find this thing. And at the very back, we've got a single interior light acting as our brake light. And there we go. That's a very brief look around the outside of the LAV Attack Rover, and so far it's doing a bang up job at handling all the drones that are being thrown towards it. But now I can just grab hold of my character, we can see the drone floating away in the distance there. Now come underneath it and find that doorway. So here it is. So here's the button panel so we can turn our handbrakes on and off. Then we can open up the doorway, activate the jetpack, and fly all the way up. Of course, you don't have to use the jetpack, you can just hold onto the ladder. I just want to stop here for a moment because we do have a cargo access to dump stuff into it. But anyway, moving all the way up and turning around, this is what we get. It's quite dark and quite ominous on the inside, so just scoot along a little bit like so. We can look down and we can see a remote control block. On the left hand side, a survival kit to respawn on and to heal yourself. On the right hand side, there's our auction tank. There's some more cargo accesses if we need it, as well as our seat to drive this thing around. In first person view, this is all we get, and looking around, that's all we can see. So if you do want to peer outside, we're going to need to press number 1 to look at that front camera. But anyway, coming out of that into the third person view, number 2 is going to be for all of our turrets to toggle them on and off. Number 3 is going to be for our exterior lights on and off. Number 4 is then for our gyroscope override to turn it on and off. Currently we can wiggle it around with our mouse, but if we turn that on, it'll just stop it from moving around. Number 5 is for our batteries to auto or recharge. Number 6 is for our projector to turn it on and off, which we can use to repair this thing up. Number 7 is manual control over our parachute hatch. Number 8 and number 9 is then for our docking sequence of switching our locks for our connector and magnetic plate. Over onto tab number 2, we then got our rear camera, our auction tank to stock power on and off, our O2H2 generator on and off, our welders all the way around the ship on and off. Number 5 is to open and close our doorway in and out of this vehicle. Number 6 is to depressurize the interior on and off. Number 7 is for our beacon on and off. Then 8 and 9 is to decrease or increase our speed of our wheels. And there we go, that is all the controls for the attack rover. So now I think it's time to undo the parking brake, drive this thing around, and we'll go and head on over to that pirate headquarters. So moving forwards, this is what we get with our default speed. We are quite slow, but that does make sense for a large rover. You don't want to go too fast because that is where problems can happen and how you can easily split your vehicle in half. Coming to a stop, that's what we get by pressing spacebar. And if we were to do a 360 all the way around, we are on a bit of a hill, but we shouldn't tip over whatsoever because we are heavy enough for it not to affect it. And here we go, another drone's been sent towards us. There goes our assault cannons, there goes our interior turret. They're now going to try and hover above us, and it looks like it might be already disabled. It's just going to fly away there. I think that is that gun destroyed on it. We switch to the rear camera and get a better view. There it is, like so. And I'm pretty sure the gun has been fully disabled. So we're just going to ignore it and continue along towards the pirate headquarters. And that will be that. And here we go. There goes our assault cannons. We're now going to start turning around onto it. There goes all of the rocket launchers. There goes one of our wheels, but our suspension is still fine. We can still drive this thing around, luckily. And there's a massive hole in the ground. It looks like they just went straight for the wheels. And we can see the flash of our welders trying to repair everything up. So despite being fully disabled, despite being stationary now, part of the ground, our turrets can keep going. We can just about survive in here, thanks to all the welders just repairing everything up. I'm not too sure what that gun can do. There goes a drone right above us. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to bring the free camera over to see what's going on with it. And there we go, we can see a couple of the rockets just flying all the way over. There's some of the drones just floating around there. We are still shooting it. Some of the guns have been disabled. Maybe this base was a bad example of testing out this vehicle, but I still think it's done a very good job at the end of the day. Quite a few turrets have been disabled on this section, but still got the rocket turrets at the top there. There goes my character, got instantly pulled out of the free camera, and we're now being slowly torn to shreds. But anyway, I'm having a bit too much fun with this vehicle. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around for yourself. I highly recommend you do because it is a fantastic looking vehicle. Got some great utility on it, and that's not the vehicle that I was trying to paste in. Yes, as I was saying, it's a fantastic little rover if you are looking for something to assault small bases in your world. For general drones, it's perfect. As you saw throughout this video, it was just handling those drones with zero issues whatsoever. It was just when I went up against rocket turrets did that become an issue. It looks like these assault cannons can shoot from here. It's sort of pasted into the ground. Those turrets will slowly disable the base from this distance where they can't shoot me. So yes, like I said, there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around for yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.